Prepare to unleash your darkest fears this Halloween with 10 scary hidden horror movies you can stream right now. From blood-curdling scares to twisted tales that creep through the night, these brutal selections are handpicked to haunt your dreams. Grab your candy, lock the doors, and let's dive straight into the shadows. Number 10, Hellfest.
Guys, been following us the entire night.
You take your job too seriously.
A traveling horror carnival known as Hellfest draws thousands every Halloween with its gruesome mazes, costumed actors, and blood-soaked attractions. For Natalie and her friends, it's meant to be a night of screams and fun, until a masked figure begins stalking them through the crowd, hiding in plain sight among the chaos. The deeper they wander into the park, the more the line blurs between entertainment and execution, and the terror becomes terrifyingly real. Hellfest weaponizes the very concept of horror as amusement, turning every laugh and shriek into a smokescreen for something far more sinister. It's a slasher soaked in neon and fear, where safety feels like an illusion and the killer never needs to hide. Number 9, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Operator, this is an emergency.
Dr. Daniel Chalice is drawn into a nightmare when Harry Grimbridge, clutching a carved pumpkin mask and babbling about some impending doom, is attacked and later dies under mysterious circumstances in a hospital. His daughter Ellie joins him in tracing the trail to Silver Shamrock Novelties, a mask company run by the eccentric Connell Cochran, whose gleaming logo hides a grotesque plot set to replay across America on Halloween night. The film abandons the Michael Myers slasher story to embrace science fiction, ancient myth, and commercial paranoia. What makes it unique is the way a children's holiday is weaponized through costumes, televised commercials, and mass-produced deception. Number 8, Cry Wolf.
Mercy, someone's there.
A new student at Westlake Preparatory arrives after being expelled from several other schools and finds himself drawn into the elite clique that spends its nights playing a parlor game called Cry Wolf, where one member is secretly chosen as the wolf and must be unmasked by the others. What starts as a game among friends escalates when they concoct a fake email warning the entire school about a brutal serial killer dubbed the Wolf, complete with lurid details about how each victim will be murdered. As rumors spread and the students' prank takes shape in chillingly real ways, suspense coils tighter around each text message, false accusation, and vanished alibi. The film mixes teen drama with mystery horror in a boarding school setting. Number 7, The Dark Half.
Yes, you're talking about a man who never was.
He wants to take over your life. Can't you see that?
Thad Beaumont is a best-selling author who writes high literary novels under his own name but pens violent crime thrillers under the pseudonym George Stark. When the world learns of his dual identity, Thad stages a symbolic burial of Stark and vows to retire that persona forever. Soon after, murders begin to occur that mirror Stark's horrifying plots with all evidence. Fingerprints, voice, motive, pointing back to Thad himself even though he insists he isn't the killer. As tension mounts around Thad's family, his career, and his sanity, the line between author and alter ego dissolves into something far more dangerous. This adaptation of Stephen King's novel rides the uneasy boundary between creativity and destruction, while Hutton's dual performance propels the story into dark, uncanny territory. Number 6, Pumpkinhead.
It's what you wanted.
You gonna stop?
Ed Harley, a widowed storekeeper in a rural town, suffers the unthinkable when his young son Billy is tragically killed in a hit and run by a group of teenage motocross riders. Tormented by grief and rage, Ed seeks out a local witch named Haggis who cannot resurrect Billy but offers to summon a demon of vengeance known as Pumpkinhead. As the monstrous creature begins picking off the guilty teens one by one, Ed becomes bound to the demon in ways he never anticipated, experiencing its killings through horrifying visions and realizing that vengeance may cost him his own soul. Pumpkinhead blends supernatural horror with a tragic morality tale, while its creature effects and atmosphere stand out as memorable and deeply unsettling. Number 5, Idle Hands.
I'm not kidding. I've done stuff, you know?
Anton Tobias, a lazy teenager who prefers weed, video games, and avoiding responsibility, suddenly discovers his right hand has been possessed and starts killing people, including his own parents and friends in gruesome, bizarre ways. His two buddies, Mick and Nub, become zombies, helping him cope with the chaos while his evil hand interferes with any chance at a normal life or relationship with Molly, the girl next door. Meanwhile, a druid priestess named Debbie LeCure arrives on the scene, hunting the malevolent force behind the madness to put an end to the havoc. The film mixes horror and comedy in ways that shock and offend with gore, absurdity, and dark humor. Number 4. Strange Harvest.
Yes, he's in there with my husband.
Detectives Joe Kirby and Lexi Taylor are pulled back into a haunting case when Mr. Shiny, a cold-blooded serial killer long believed gone, resurfaces after years of silence with new crimes that echo his old signature: ritual symbols in blood, victims staged in grotesque tableau, and an escalation toward something unearthly. The film unfolds in the mold of a mockumentary, layering police interviews, archived footage, security cameras, and media reports to blur the line between documentary and nightmare. As the body count rises, the past's dark, occult undertones entwine with present horrors, suggesting Mr. Shiny's return may be driven by forces beyond human understanding. Strange Harvest stands out for its chilling procedural detail and its ability to make the supernatural feel like a hidden truth just waiting to be uncovered. Number 3. The Village.
Let's close the door.
In a remote pastoral village surrounded by dense woods, its people live in constant fear of mysterious creatures they call those we don't speak of. Young Lucius Hunt requests permission to journey through the forest to secure medicine from the towns after illnesses begin to take hold, but is denied by the elders. Lucius's love for Ivy, a girl who is blind, binds them together even as the rules of the village ban the color red and prohibit travel beyond the boundary. When Lucius is gravely harmed by jealousy and betrayal, Ivy volunteers to brave the forest alone, setting in motion revelations about the nature of the forest, the creatures, and the elders' strict, terrifying control over the community. Directed by M. Night Shyamalan, the village blends folklore, atmosphere, and moral tension into a haunting reflection of fear, isolation, and what people will do to protect a fragile order. Number 2. Trick or Treat. On Halloween night in the small town of Warren Valley, a set of interlocking stories unfold tied together by the creepy, rule-obsessed trick-or-treater known as Sam. In one tale, a devoted husband warns his wife never to extinguish a jack-o'-lantern before midnight, a warning she ignores with gruesome consequences. Another thread follows a strict high school principal whose enforcement of Halloween tradition hides darker obsessions, while teenagers' pranks and urban legends bring ghostly payback, and a bitter recluse's disdain for the holiday comes under chilling judgment. Traditions once treated as quaint folklore grow lethal when broken. The film uses Halloween's rituals, myths, and symbols to weave dread through every costume-clad street and porch light. Number 1. From Hell.
One day.
In the murky, gaslit streets of 1888 Whitechapel, a series of grotesque murders terrorizes the poor and vulnerable prostitutes, each killing more brutal and ritualistic than the last. Inspector Frederick Aberline, a troubled detective plagued by grief and opium-induced visions, is drawn deep into the case as the killings reveal signs of surgical precision and a conspiracy reaching into the highest echelons of Victorian society. His investigation intersects with Mary Kelly, one of the women in the killer's dread crosshairs, whose own story is bound to the violence and secrets that threaten to engulf both her world and his. As Aberline uncovers clues involving secret societies, royal scandal, and an uncanny link between anatomy and ritual, dark power plays in shadows and trust becomes as dangerous as betrayal. From Hell combines historical horror with gothic crime, using atmosphere, dread, and moral decay to make the myth of Jack the Ripper both horrifying and heartbreakingly human. Here are 4 other movies you have to see. Sorority Row.
How long are you gonna keep this going?
What the hell did you do?
She wasn't dead!
A college prank turns deadly when a group of sorority sisters accidentally kill one of their own. They cover up the death, but months later, someone wearing a graduation robe and wielding a sharp weapon begins picking them off one by one. As secrets unravel, the past refuses to stay buried. Mark of the Devil. In In 17th century Austria, a young witch hunter begins to question the brutal methods of his mentor, who uses torture and false accusations to persecute innocent villagers. As the violence escalates, the apprentice realizes he may be serving evil rather than fighting it. Playroom.
It's gonna be a pleasure to blow your fucking head off!
Haunted by childhood memories of his family's murder, an archaeologist returns to the site of the crime, a remote monastery tied to dark legends. As he digs deeper, visions of ancient demons and buried secrets begin to resurface, blurring the line between trauma and reality. Matriarch.
Change your mother and change the village.
After surviving a near-fatal overdose, Laura retreats to her rural childhood home in search of peace. But her estranged mother and the eerie village harbor dark rituals and a terrifying legacy. Something ancient is waiting, and Laura may be at the center of it.